Okay, so at the end of Spider-Man 2, the city is burning, but Peter, Miles, and MJ come up with a plan to save it. All they need to do is to destroy the symbiote rock, which is simple, right? But the problem is, Harry is still heavily connected and dependent on the symbiote. So there is this fear that if they destroy the rock, they might also kill Harry. So in this moment, Peter is very adamant on two goals: saving the city and saving Harry. But on a much broader scale, what were Peter's odds of this actually working? To better determine this, we could use game theory, or to be more specific, we could use a game tree, which is a way to determine every possible scenario in an outcome. If the point of origin is Peter deciding whether or not he should save Harry, then two different possible outcomes exist. Those being whether Peter will decide to try to save the city and Harry, or whether he will try to simply just save the city and give up on Harry. Of course, Peter would never give up on his friend, so from here, let's say he chooses to save Harry. In this scenario, 4 new outcomes emerge. There are many more branches this time because unlike before, 2 events hang in the balance: Harry and the city. The first new outcome is the most ideal one, where Peter is able to save Harry and the city. In the second possible branch, Harry will live, however, for some reason or another, the city will perish. In the third possible branch, Harry dies, but Peter is still able to save the city. And in the fourth and final possible branch, we get the worst outcome, where Peter fails to save Harry and fails to save the city. In these 4 branches, I think there are only 2 outcomes in which Peter could live with himself. Now obviously there's the ideal outcome where Peter saves everyone, but there's also the outcome where Peter only saves the city. He would be heartbroken from the loss of Harry, but give him time and he'll get over it. Let's climb our way back up the branches to our point of origin, and let's see what happens if Peter chooses to simply not attempt to save Harry. Well, only 2 new possible branches emerge, and they're very familiar. In these 2 new branches, Harry most definitely dies. However, Peter is still capable of saving New York. These 2 new branches are ones we've already seen in the other possibilities. In the first new possible branch, if Peter doesn't try to save Harry, then Harry dies, but Peter could save the city. In the second possible outcome, Harry dies, and Peter, yet again, fails to save the city. In these 2 new branches, only one is ideal: the one where Peter is able to save the city. You could argue that in this outcome, Peter is a lot less heartbroken over Harry's death since he was prepared to make that sacrifice. Okay, now that we have all the outcomes planned out, let's answer the question: what were the odds that Peter could save the city and Harry? To put it simply, 16.67%. Out of 6 possible outcomes, there's only one in which Peter gets what he wants. The only other outcome which holds the same level of low percentage is the branch where Harry lives, but New York is doomed. To put into perspective how risky this outcome is, Peter was twice as likely to lose everything, with the outcome where both Harry and the city dies appearing 2 times out of 6. Meaning Peter had a 33.33% chance of this outcome happening, which were coincidentally the same odds Peter had of actually saving the city, but having to watch his friend die. And now that you have this information, you can, I don't know, tell your friends. I'm not entirely sure why I chose to make this video. I already have far more interesting and finished scripts, but I just felt like talking about this. I'm not totally sure how to end this video. Subscribe, I guess. Peace.